Deer management. There are three main ways that deer can cause damage or be a nuisance in a garden: eating your plants, pooping on the lawn and other areas, damaging trees and shrubs as the bucks attempt to rub the velvet off of their newly emerging horns. The most straightforward approach to all potential deer problems is to fence them out of all or a portion of your garden. A 7-foot transparent fence, which can be constructed of wire and netting attached to various frameworks, or an opaque 6-foot high fence will generally do the job. Variations on this include a 4-foot transparent fence placed immediately on top of a 3-foot wall, creating a total jump height of 7 feet. Depending on your budget, it is possible to create any of a number of fence types, including wrought iron. Avoid leaving gaps wider than 6 inches, or the deer may slip through. The second strategy is more involved and experimental. Bucks tend to want to scrape the velvet from their horns in winter and spring. Mini fences 5 feet tall or sticking 6-foot-long bamboo stakes in the ground around trees every 4 inches during this period usually works. Creating a garden that features stone, art, and sculpture, as well as deer-resistant plants, takes care of the biggest problem, which is plants being eaten. It's important to be aware that deer will eat almost any plant if there is no alternative, even plants on most deer-proof lists. To know what deer are eating in your neighborhood, pay attention to your neighbors and what is working for them. What is eaten a mile away may not be eaten in your garden, and vice versa. The list of plants I have never seen a deer eat grows ever smaller. It is often a combination of factors that ensure that a deer does not eat a specific plant, any of which may not be enough on its own. Having a dog helps, along with being closer to town in higher traffic areas. A pet lion would almost certainly do the trick, although lions have been known to produce serious side effects on human health, being eaten not being the least among these. Plants closer to a house will tend to be bothered less than plants further away, and deer are somewhat discouraged by having to walk up steps or over decks that make a lot of noise. But this is a minor deterrent that can in no ways be counted on. Then there are the various commercial deer deterrents, such as liquid fence, soaps, and socks filled with blood meal. While all of these things discourage deer, it all depends on how hungry they are and whether or not there is easier food nearby. Your job is to make the deer dining facilities of your garden less attractive than the establishments offered by your neighbors, as deers rarely pay their bills and are lousy tippers. Reflectors and moving shiny objects also play a role in deterring deer from entering areas by jumping. I have seen instances where deer were jumping over a 4-foot gate inside an arch, but stopped when a decorative piece of shiny cloth was hung from the arch so that a deer would have to touch it as they jumped over the gate. Deer prefer not to jump towards shiny, moving objects. A short list of deer-resistant plants with year interest in mind: Mexican and other sages, Acorus gramineus, rosemary, creeping lantana, yucca, coleonema, lavender, daphne, miscanthus, and many other ornamental grasses. Japanese boxwood, phormiums, Loropetalum plum delight, poly ferns, Santolina, Talbagia, Violacea, or society garlic. Rhododendrons, they will get nibbled, but not usually too much. Sasanqua camellias, also nibbled, sometimes not too much. Oak leaf hydrangeas. The link below will take, actually just go to Mystical Landscapes website to follow the link to deer-resistant plants if you want to see photos.